When my father's business went bankrupt, my parents convinced me to take a massive loan in my name to save the family home. They promised they'd handle the payments while I finished my final year of medical school. I trusted them. But 3 months before graduation, I started getting calls from debt collectors. It turns out, my parents hadn't paid a single dollar. Instead, they used the money to buy my younger sister a brand new apartment and a luxury car for her influencer career. When I confronted them, my dad told me to stop being dramatic and said that since I'd be a doctor soon, I could just work harder to pay it off. My sister even laughed and said I was always the boring one who didn't need a nice life anyway. Because of the debt, I was disqualified from my dream residency. I had to take 2 jobs just to keep my head above water, while watching my sister post photos from expensive vacations on my parents' dime. Yesterday, my dad called and asked for one final favor. He wanted me to sign over my small inheritance from my grandmother to cover his new tax debt. He told me if I didn't, he'd disown me and tell the whole family I was a failure. I sat in my empty apartment, crying, but then I remember about a secret folder I'd been putting together for months. I realized they didn't want a son. They wanted a bank account, and that's when I made the call that would change everything. I didn't sign the papers. Instead, I handed that secret folder to a forensic accountant and the fraud department. Since the original loan was taken under false pretenses, and my parents had forged my signature on several documents to get my sister's car, the police were very interested. By the time my dad called to scream at me, the bank had already frozen all their accounts. My sister's car was repossessed that afternoon, and their influencer lifestyle vanished in hours. They're now facing charges for identity theft and fraud. They call me a traitor for destroying the family, but I finally have my credit score back and a clear future.